beautiful state of West Virginia, and I'm here with Melissa Mayo, who many of you may know from her viral photo in which she won the Fairfax and Favor photo contest in 2022. What you also might know her from is her truthful, often humorous insights to what daily life is like after she sustained a devastating injury in which her horse fell on top of her and crushed her leg at a combined tusk. Today, Melissa is back in the saddle with a new horse and new goals. With the support of her friends and family, she is hoping to get to the Paralympics in
2028 in LA.
So, Melissa,
Yes.
thank you
You're
for
welcome.
having me. I'm super excited to share your story.
Same.
Prior to now, were you eventing or what discipline were you doing?
I was an eventer
Okay.
from the beginning of time to 2022. And I'm still an eventer at heart.
So your injury in 2022,
Yes.
what do you remember about that?
Oh God, I remember the whole thing. There was a local combined test that was kind of the last show of the season. And the girls wanted to go ride. The weather was awful. It had gotten delayed once because of the hurricane that came through. What hurricane was that? Helene? I don't know.
That sounds
in 22. So it was supposed to be during the summer, and then it got moved to November. We're actually coming up on the 3-year anniversary. We left here. It was snowing, sleeting, raining, terrible, nasty, gross weather. And I questioned my sanity a couple of times on the way down there. And then we got there and we wanted to get one last ride in for the year. And so we tacked up. Grace got on my horse Vivi and I got on Ditto. We had parked near where they had done some like reseeding and resurfacing, and it was soup. And I went over to a rock. When I got on, he danced around a little bit and he slid in the mud and fell with me, landing on our right side. I immediately knew my leg was broken. He struggled to get up, and he was, at that point, he was behind me. Grace hopped off her horse and was with him. Addie and Connor were in front of me. I rolled onto my side to prop my right leg onto my left leg to get somewhat comfortable. I actually remember all this in great detail. I took my helmet off and put it under my head because I was laying in slop, and I yelled for somebody to call for an ambulance. In that scramble, like I said, he was behind me. He went down again. I did not see that. And then Grace was dealing with that and asking questions. I was trying to direct all the kids, all the things. I was there by myself. Thankfully, I have truly some of the greatest friends a girl could have. And they jumped in and took over. Grace called my husband, who was dropping off a truck he had sold with a friend of ours. He got a pretty nasty phone call that I don't wish on anybody, because poor Grace was in panic mode and just said, "Mom's hurt, going to the hospital."
Right.
He knew no details. Bethany McNett came over, got a blanket on Ditto. Robin Munson came over and started managing my kids, getting horses on trailers. I couldn't see it, but Ditto was non-weight bearing behind me. They ended up loading him onto a trailer and took him to the hospital one direction. They loaded me onto an ambulance, headed to the hospital in the other direction. I met Kevin Dickerson as he loaded me into the ambulance. That was fun.
And who is Kevin Dickerson?
He is the parent of one of our pony clubbers.
Okay.
And he is an anesthesiologist, and he was great. They were trying to take my boot off. I was adamant that it wasn't coming off because in my real life, I'm an OT, and I knew that my boot was stabilizing my ankle that I no longer had.
Right.
The bone had actually come through my boot, so I knew that it was nasty. And Kevin reiterated that the boot needed to stay on. They got me on an ambulance, took me to Huntington. I remember the ride. They would do construction on I-64 for life, and I was in Boyd County, Kentucky, so I was right on the West Virginia border. I wanted to be close to home, so I asked them to bring me to St. Mary's, which is just down the road. We hit every construction bump from the border to the exit to get off. Yeah, and every time we hit a bump and I jolted, the medic gave me more fentanyl. It was great. And at that point, I couldn't see to text anymore. So I was like, can you please text my husband, tell him where we're going? So yeah, we got to the hospital. Ryan got there, I think, pretty much shortly after I did. My fabulous friends took the kids home. Grace and Robin took the trailer to Lexington to take Ditto to the hospital. Once he was there, they realized his pelvis was fractured. They stabilized him. They said the next 24 hours would be pretty telling. I didn't know any of this.
Right. You're okay.
Ryan knew before I went to surgery, but he went down. They called Ryan to make the call. My fabulous husband had the wherewithal to ask them to collect him. So they collected him on the table and then let him go. So then another dear friend drove down and got him and brought him home so we could bury him. My fabulous husband didn't tell me till I got out of surgery because he didn't want me going into surgery and knowing all that.
Right.
So Thursday we went to OR and the doctor tried to piece together what was left. Basically, my ankle was the equivalent of stepping on an IED and more, and it was in a million pieces. He had like 9 usable pieces that he pieced together and then plated and screwed and cleaned out the rest. Left my external fixator on, and then I came home a day or two after that. I was in my erector set until January the following year. January 5th, I believe, they took me back to surgery, took out my erector set, and then I was in a cast for a while. Took that off, put me in a walking boot. At a certain point in the healing process, you kind of have to start bearing weight no matter what. We put me in a boot and I started bearing weight, and it held up. I was doing okay. I was doing less okay than I like to let on.
Never.
No, never. At some point in that, he turned me loose and said, start doing everything you want to do. So I started doing everything I wanted to do. I couldn't do it well, and I couldn't do it fast, and I couldn't do it without any pain, but I started doing everything I wanted to do. It was probably March. I was having more swelling. I was having more pain. My legs started to look a little deformed. I know enough to be dangerous, but not enough to know all the things. So in my mind, I was afraid my hardware was getting infected because I started to get like some redness and a bulge in the outside of my ankle. So I made a phone.
That's not good.
No. So I made a phone call, and they got me in, and turns out that it had all collapsed.
Oh.
I broke like 5 screws, 2 plates, and all of the segments that they had pieced together
Wow.
went squish. So I was walking on a broken ankle again.
Oh.
At that point, we were trying to make some decisions. We were still in survival mode. We wanted to save it.
Right.
My options were to go in and try again.
Mm-hmm.
The other option was to fuse it.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at x-rays, you can't tell everything. We kind of were uncertain if I had enough bone to go in and try again.
Mm-hmm.
We also were uncertain if I had enough bone to go in and fuse. The doctor and I made a plan. Going into surgery, we had kind of decided we were going to fuse it. I did ask him to fuse me in a heel down position so that I could still ride,
Well,
because that's what's important.
Of course.
So he went in there, and basically once he got in there, it was a no-brainer. I had to be fused. All those little pieces, parts we had tried to save had kind of died. The bone had kind of died and was mush. So he took a cadaver bone and whittled it into a little block.
Oh, wow.
And put that in there to take up the space of the bone that I had lost.
Yeah.
And he fused me. We let that heal.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to lots of therapy, worked, did everything. And then I started having pain again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I never quit having pain, but I started realizing that this kind of pain wasn't something I wanted to
Deal with,
live my life with. Probably in October, November-ish, I went back to him and I said, hey, listen, I'm not real happy.
Mm-hmm.
I asked what our options were.
Yeah.
I, at that point, had started growing extra bone. And it was jagged, and so all my soft tissue was rubbing against it and keeping everything inflamed and angry and painful. And he said we could go in every so often and shave all that down, or we could amputate. I was team amputate. I had been team amputate for a while. Saying it out loud was a little more difficult.
Right.
And I asked him kind of what he thought, and he said, you're young, you're active, technology is great. Mm-hmm. If it were me, I would amputate. I made some phone calls. I talked to a couple of people who had been in similar situations. I went and talked to my prosthetist that I currently have, and he was great. He kind of said the same things. You know, no one can tell you what to do, obviously, because it's a personal decision. I kind of knew that that was the right decision for me.
Right. So
I called the doctor back and I said, let's do this. So on February 7th of last year, we took my leg off. And I have zero regrets. I came out of surgery feeling better than I had felt in over 2 years.
Wow.
Having my leg cut off was a relief. I'm going to plug this because I truly believe in this.
Absolutely.
They did a TMR, targeted muscular reinnervation. They took the main nerves out of the bottom of my leg that they took off, and they reattached them up into the muscle of my leg.
Wow.
Because a lot of times when you have an amputation, you have phantom pain.
Yeah.
That kind of got rid of all that.
Wow.
So I don't really have phantom pain. It's amazing.
That is
and
amazing.
I think anybody going through an amputation needs to have it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
The first month I had phantom pain while those nerves were kind of getting settled.
Right.
But I don't, like, every once in a while I have a twinge here and there that's like, sometimes my big toe itches and I don't have a big toe, but that's not super painful.
Right.
Like, that's just weird.
Nothing like compared.
Right. I had gotten to the point, honestly, in life in general, that I didn't want to get out of bed. And for me, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then the other tidbit part of that was I have these great kids and this great farm, and I felt like I couldn't interact with them. God, I'm going to cry again. During this whole process, one of the biggest driving factors for me was that I wanted to be able to be a part of my kids' lives.
Right.
And we live on this great farm, and with a great farm comes dangers. Farms are dangerous. Farm equipment's dangerous. Horses are dangerous. And I thought, if one of the kids gets hurt, I couldn't get to them to help them. Right. And that weighed super heavy on my heart. and was probably one of the biggest driving forces of me making the choice I made, because I wanted to be able, if one of them was hurt, get to them and save them and prevent some sort of catastrophe.
Yeah.
And as a parent, not being able to feel like you could help your kid was awful.
Right.
Awful. And it did a lot of mental damage.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I'm sure.
I had the amputation in February. At the end of March, I got my first leg, and I've been in a leg since then. Sure, it's not all sunshine and roses. There are days that I am uncomfortable, and at the end of the day, Lola, who is my stomach.
I was gonna go. We have to talk about that.
We have to talk about Lola,
and we have to talk about the party.
Oh,
that
yes.
you had, because I have told so many people that story, and I'm sure a lot of people that are going to watch this don't know this story, and I love this, so you have to tell it.
So I have a dark sense of humor,
but it's great.
So we had a going away party for Lola. It was great. We invited all of our closest friends and family, and the people who had been through this whole daggone journey with me and for me, and we said peace out, righty, because you are I can't say the words I want to say. Anyway, we had a cake leg.
Right. Yep, I remember that.
A saw that we cut the cake with. It was great. Yes. We had a pork roast that had a shoe on the end of it that looked like righty that was coming off. Everybody signed righty. We had the best time at our party. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I loved that. I loved seeing that.
Left me for a minute. It was great.
Yeah, it was.
There were actually still some signatures left on her when we went to surgery. And then Lola was born. Lola is my stump.
And how did you come up with that name?
I don't know. It kind of
seemed right.
It seemed right. So she was named Lola, and so now Lola is just part of my life. And sometimes she's cranky at the end of the day. Sometimes things are difficult that shouldn't be, but I would do this again in a heartbeat. It has given me my life back, truly.
That's awesome.
Truly.
Because equestrians are such great patients.
Oh, we're terrible.
How long were you not supposed to ride?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay.
But after the first surgery, definitely couldn't ride with an erector set.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in the barn the first time I could get in the barn, and actually the day I came home, the girls brought my eventer to Ginger.
Oh, yeah.
To the garage and let me see her. So, yeah. As soon as my erector set came off, I asked the surgeon, and he's like, don't put weight on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I got on a couple times bareback just because
you needed to.
I needed to mentally. We're horse people, that's what we do. That's our happy place. And I just needed to have a horse under me. I didn't do anything I wasn't supposed to do, maybe, but I was on as soon as I could be after every surgery. After my amputation, like a few weeks after my amputation, I took the kids to Masterson and I rode my pony with one leg. So riding bareback has never felt different. After every surgery, after my amputation, getting on bareback was just easy.
Right.
With stirrups, it's for the last almost 3 years has been incredibly different. With the injury, it was painful, and I didn't have much use of my ankle, so that was very changing, very different. I also used it as therapy, though, when I was supposed to be working on getting range of motion back. What better way to get range of motion back than get on a horse, put my foot in the stirrup, and put my heels down? Yeah,
for sure.
Pretty sure that was therapeutic.
Yeah, that worked.
Right?
And mentally therapeutic.
And mentally therapeutic, which is what it's all about.
Exactly.
Then after the amputation, I either have to ride bareback or I have to ride with 2 stirrups, which means with my prosthetic. But that's still evolving.
Sure.
I'm still trying to find my right seat bone. When you don't have a foot or an ankle to feel. I don't know how much weight really is going through my stirrup, and my horse tells me not enough because we're always bent to the left. So it's still evolving.
Right.
So that's still trying to find that.
Yeah. And speaking of horses,
Yes.
you have a new horse in your life.
I do. He's the best.
And his name is?
Tego Santana.
Oh, okay. And how did you...
affectionately known as Tego.
Okay. So how did you guys come together?
Okay, so to tell that story, I have to go backward a little bit.
Okay.
Twist of Fate has always been since 2003, has been my business name, for lack of a better term.
And for those of you who don't know this another tidbit about her is that you breed Connemara's.
I do.
Yes, and they are adorable.
Thoroughbreds.
Yes. And they are adorable.
So it started out as Twist of Fate performance horses. We're going to go off on a little journey for a second.
All right, let's do it.
We're similar ages. Jim Twist was the be-all, end-all.
I still have the Briar in my office.
I do too.
It's the only one I have left.
I have him in the tack room. My room was covered in Jim Twist posters and Craig Best, and like those were our heroes, right?
Yeah.
So I grew up in Pony Club, and we had this local trainer show up out of the middle of nowhere, and she was breeding twist horses. How cool is that, right?
Yeah.
Then she disappeared, and I was in college, and I got a phone call. Actually, I don't know, phone call or letter in the mail, because this was before cell phones.
Right.
And these twist horses were being auctioned off at the sheriff's auction.
Oh, wow.
Right? So I called my mom, and I said, I have to go get one because I just have to have one.
Yeah.
These are my childhood heroes.
Right.
In the middle of a nasty snowstorm in like December, January, it was probably January of 2003, I went to this sale auction barn in Spencer, West Virginia. You've probably never heard of it or been there, and it's a wide spot in the road, and it was a cattle sale barn, and they had all these twist horses there.
Wow.
I went with plans on getting a mare and continuing the twist line.
Okay.
All the mares were spoken for. Well, it was an auction, so they weren't really spoken for, but there was word on the street was however much it took to get these horses, they were going to do it. So it's like, well, I'll go down the stallion aisle and see what's there. There were 3 twist stallions. There was one that was registered, one that wasn't registered, and one that couldn't be registered. Long story short, I ended up with Triple Twist, and he was able to be registered with the Jockey Club. I jumped through some hoops to make that happen. I got him registered. After I graduated from college, I brought him home. The people who had fostered him kept him for me until I graduated. It was super kind of them. And when I graduated, I rented a farm, and I moved home with my 6-year-old unbroke thoroughbred stallion, because that's what all 23-year-olds need to do with their life, right?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
And that's kind of where the dream started.
Okay.
And so I named my operation Twist of Fate Performance Horses. And I went into it thinking, I have no business with a 6-year-old unbroken stallion, but as long as he had very specific orders that as soon as he was out of line, we were no longer a stallion. And he never gave me a reason to take his manhood, so I didn't. And we had a great, absolutely amazing life together. We evented, we did all the things. He was fantastic.
Wow.
I started breeding, and then we tragically lost him much too early to a bladder infection that ended up attacking all his internal organs, and that's another long story. He spent lots of time at Root and Riddle, and he just couldn't be saved. We tried real hard. And then a week after he was born, Ditto was born, and he was classic Twist.
Okay.
Back to the beginning. I had Twist of Fate Performance Horses, and then I had Twist of Fate Eventing, and then I had Twist of Fate Connemara's, and now it's just Twist of Fate Stables, and that encompasses everything. But it stems from all of our horses seem to just appear in our lives through some sort of convoluted, crazy twist of fate. And so it has been fitting, and it continues on with Sweet Tego. It actually is funny because at Mid-South Horse Trial last year, a friend of mine asked me where the name came from. So I was telling her this story
Yeah.
and how it's all just seemed to be a twist of fate. The very next day, I was talking with a friend and one of my trainers and my kids trainer. Her and her husband were talking about, we need to get you a para horse and we need to pursue the para journey. And I was like, yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
Every little kid dreams of going to the Olympics and
Sure.
representing their country. And, you know, I
Why
grew
not?
up and realized that that was not in my cards.
Well,
But you lose your leg, you get a whole new game plan.
whole new division.
Right. And the para world has opened up some new avenues. And I was like, yeah, let's try it.
Yeah.
And that night, someone messaged me saying, hey, I know of this horse. And I got in contact with, after going through a couple of people, got in contact with the owner. And she offered me sweet Tego. And another twist of fate has brought him into our lives. He had suffered a couple of injuries and needed some time off. And his recovery was kind of uncertain. And I said, what better way to spend my rehab than rehabbing a horse?
Yeah.
And
Perfect.
so I went and got him in July of last year. He spent the fall and winter being a horse. He was on stall rest for quite a while, then walking under tack, and then was allowed to go out. And then I just said, you're allowed to be a horse now. And he has healed beautifully. And then we kind of brought him back into work in March, April-ish. When the weather started getting nice, we started going back to work. He's doing great. We made our debut in July.
That's exciting.
At KDA in Lexington.
Very exciting.
And it was fantastic. And I kind of just wanted to put my toes in the water and
Just see
how it went.
Yeah.
Sweet Tego blew it out of the water.
Oh, good boy.
And we ended up qualifying at training level and first level for regionals.
That's awesome.
And
At your first show?
we got the scores for, we got our first training level and our first level scores. And then I've been catapulted into this new sport.
Right.
With all kinds of new rules and new things.
Right.
And it's been a huge learning curve.
I'm sure.
And I'm breaking all the rules to learn them because that's
Just
how I
typical,
do things.
That's just you.
That's just me.
Yeah.
So we also did a para test at that show, and he blew that out of the water. I pinched myself frequently because I'm like, is this real life? And then I learned that you could qualify for things like regionals. So I started looking into that, and I needed like 1 or 2 more scores. So I went to another show and got those, and then we went to regionals, and that was crazy and fun. And
Right.
yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
and then we're going to Tryon at the end of the month to do our first para competition.
That's fun.
Right?
Super exciting.
So
Yeah.
excited. So excited. This journey has been wild and lots of learning and lots of healing.
Obviously, you have your farm. You're a mom.
I am.
You're a wife.
I am.
You work full time.
I do.
You run Pony Club. You probably do a million other things I'm not mentioning. How do you find time to do this and to have time for you?
That's hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. Prioritizing, having a truly supportive family. My husband is my biggest fan. He does a lot of things behind the scenes that keep me doing what I want to do. He also is incredibly supportive of what I want to do. Me and these tears. There were lots of conversations during this whole journey that he talked me off the ledges because my biggest concern was, am I going to ride again? In true riding fashion, he is always the voice of reason, and he said, I'll get you on a horse no matter what happens. So that's kind of the support system I have.
Yeah.
And then I've got these freaking amazing children that also live by that philosophy. And
how old are your kids?
9, 11, and 17 going on 40. Grace is my oldest. And she honestly has kept the farm running through all of this. We have quite the collection of our own horses, but we also board horses for people. And she, I just don't have words for Grace. She busts her butt to keep this place afloat. Addie has come up right behind her. Addie's our middle child. She's 11. I'm sorry. She was 9 when this kind of all started. And she is the biggest helper. Connor is chaos in a human form, but he is also my kids through this journey have been absolute rock stars. I had a memory pop up on Facebook the other day. It was this week. We went to Columbus Zoo, and over the last 3 years, not so much now anymore, but my kids and my husband would all adopt this posture anytime we were somewhere new. They would stand with their arm out. And it's because they knew I couldn't walk.
Right.
Like, so that anytime we were somewhere, like, and we were standing in line to get on a ride at, I think it was the train that goes through the zoo, and Grace is standing next to me and has her arm out, and we're just standing there. She didn't know she was doing it, and I snapped a picture of it because I was like, this summarizes my kids and my husband currently. Like, they all adapted to my disabilities, and they have all been super supportive. And even now, walking up and down terrain sometimes is a little difficult. I don't have an ankle.
Sure.
I do have some movement and hydraulics that help me on unlevel ground, but walking up a steep hill, the kids will still say, do you need an arm?
Right.
Not only my husband and my kids, but the community. Like, we have a pretty tight-knit horse community here. And, you know, throughout this whole journey, disaster, whatever, they've shown up. In the beginning, they were bringing meals. They were coming in and holding horses for the farrier. They were cleaning stalls. They were taking my kids places. Total strangers reaching out and sending meals. Total strangers on Facebook. Somebody sent in a little bit of money on the vet bill. Like, it's just, like I said earlier, I don't wish tragedy on anyone. But I am so grateful that my kids got to experience what a community looks like. And not just for us, like, they saw just the community come together and help people out. Like, a couple of the parents from Pony Club have said, you know, that they were grateful their kids got to help somebody else and see what a community coming together looks like.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's just the heart of horse people. Like, I feel like we all step up and help when there's somebody in need, or even the people cheering us on. Like, people reach out to me frequently about being an inspiration, and I, like, no part of me ever wanted to be an inspiration,
but you are.
But I'm grateful. And I post on Facebook. I've been very transparent about this whole journey. And some of it's for therapeutic for me. Sometimes I just need to put things out there, and I need it to go out in the world of face of the book, not for any other reason than I needed to get it out of my head. But so many people have reached out and said, that really helped me, and seeing somebody else go through this journey. And so it's kind of fueled me to keep going with it. Because it's therapeutic to me, and it's apparently therapeutic to other people. So absolutely. I'm an occupational therapist, and our job is to help people return to their life or adapt their life to better live it. And so in my core, that's who I am. And I feel like I've been able to use kind of this disaster for good. And if I can make something terrible into something good, that's right up my alley. It's just who I am. But back to your original question. Sorry for that tangent.
No, you're good.
How do I make this all work? Late hours, early mornings, the support of my family, the support of my friends, and just my daggone bullheadedness. Truthfully, there's no quit in me. And I have always been passionate about riding horses. They, for lack of a better term, define me. Like if there was no horse, I don't know who I would be.
Yeah.
I think a lot of horse people could
relate to that.
For
sure.
And so my goal has always been to get back on the horse.
Yeah.
Like no matter what was happening, it was, I got to get back on the horse. When we fall off, we get back on the horse. That's ingrained into us from, I've been on horses since I was 3. Like, and at 45, it's just, I got to get back on the horse. And that looks different in different periods of our lives. And it looks different when you've gone through life-changing tragedy.
Yeah.
That's always been my goal, get back on the horse.
Yeah,
so
that's a good motto.
Juggling it all, I have a very, my employer is great about being pretty flexible. I ask for probably more days than I should off so I can go to shows and stay involved in the things that are important to me.
Yeah.
And then my family is just out of this world supportive. Like I could not do this life without them. From the kids to my husband. Like I just, and then I've got a group of friends that are, they've got my back.
Yeah.
And they're out there cheering for me, even when I'm not cheering for myself.
Right.
You know,
which is very important.
It's so important, and I think so many horse communities that's just who we are. Like I just feel like that's who we are in our soul.
Yeah, I love that. Well, Melissa, thank you so much for having me come to your farm and share your story. I am so excited for you. I can't wait to see where you go, and I hope that in the future we can do this again. And you're going to be preparing for the Olympics.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. So hugs.